Hello my model building chums and welcome back to the Yorkshire Modeller. This week it is issue 8 of Build the Bismarck. So before we get started with issue 8, I am recording this video on Wednesday night because tomorrow, Thursday the 11th, is my wedding anniversary. So me and my wife are going out for a few hours. So I just wanted to get some the video recorded and get some content up for you. So in issue 8, we're doing the next section of the hull. We are actually attaching that to the main keel that we did a couple of weeks ago. And we're also adding some plant on details to the deck. So I'll move the camera onto the workbench and we'll get started. So here we've got issue 8 itself. With issue 8, as I've just said, we get the next part of the hull and a few plant on parts for the decks themselves. So the first part we're going to do is building the hull. So what we need for this is, I'll just bring the parts over so you can see them. We've got some more AM screws with this one. So I'll bring me screw pot in. And get these, move those out of their way. Just get this little bag opened up. And then just empty these into the AM pot. So we've got all the AM screws together just in that one there. Move that out of the way. So bring the screwdriver in as well. Put them around that way so you can see what I'm doing. So all we need to do is take this section of the hull. I'll move those plant on details out of the way just for now, so we can be having a look at those later on. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this light around a little bit so you've got a little bit better light on here. Yep, that's better. So we can see what we're doing now. So what we do is, so this is the part we've got in this week's issue. And if I just bring in the actual keel itself, what we're doing is we're taking this side off, and then this will all just attach on like that, and then that will screw onto the hull. So all we do is we attach them together to make sure that the peg on the part we've received this week just there goes into that hole there. Make sure it's all lining up, clicks into place nicely, and then we'll just get the pot. There we go. Get one of the AM screws on there, and then we just screw that in. Nice and simple. So that's all done, and that's not going anywhere. Then the next part is to attach the piece that we've just put together back onto the hull. Now there's 5 connection points with this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All we do is we just screw all of those in. So it's take the assembled parts and fit the parts to the hull assembled earlier. The upper edge of part 501 should be aligned with the bow section of the hull as indicated by the arrow, which is that bit just there. So make sure that, so it's that bit just here where this connector is. Now you can see on mine at the minute, it's not quite, get the light right, it's not quite level. So all you have to do is give it a good push, and then that just totally flattens it off, like that. And then we get another AM screw, and we pop that into the top. So I'm just doing this one just here at the very front. Screw that in until it won't go any further. Whoa. and then you just do the exact same thing with each of the screws. This is where it's good to have a magnetic screwdriver, because then you don't need to be holding the screws as well as trying to line them up and screw them all in. There we go. So next one. In there. Just grab these last two that I need. That one in there. And last but not least, that one in there. So that's now all attached on. It's starting to look good now. We've got some of the colour coming in, so it's not just the plain grey, we've got like the wave effect coming in as well. So we'll have the other side to do hopefully within the next few weeks, but that's that bit all done for now at least. So I'll just move this out of the way, and now it's on to the foredeck details. So bring my foredeck in, bring that light up, there we go. So now I went through the swastika painted on last week. I'll just bring some glue in on this one as well. So now we do need the sprue, we need the anchor guide, and then we need the two attachment points as well. And that's all the parts included in this issue altogether. Now I have bought a new pair of side cutters, and these ones, ooh, that's a bit bright. These ones are like a flush finish. I'm just going to turn this light off actually. I'll spin it around a bit. Off would probably be better. Ooh. There we go. So, new pair of side cutters, and these are flush cut, so literally you put that side up to the bit and then you snip it and it just totally cuts it straight, and it's flush as well. So first part we need is this one, which is the anchor guide, and it just says apply a little super glue to the underside of the anchor guide and fix in place to the bow of the deck as shown. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put a little bit of super glue on here. Move this over that way a bit. And then I'm going to put a bit on the peg just there as well. And then we'll just place that bit into there, push it down. That's the anchor guide all sorted. And next is apply a little super glue to the two pegs on the lower edge of the first platform, and fix to the deck as shown. So this bit is on the middle of the sprue. So these are the bits that kind of have these little holes in them all the way up. So all I'm going to do is clip those off the sprue first, and I'm going to clip both of them off as well. So they're both off, and then I'm just going to clip the sprue there, and then clip the sprue there as well. So you can see that's the bit that's just come off, and it's left a really nice neat line on there as well. Now these pieces go, so where we've got this bit, these go, by the look of things, just in these two holes here, sorry. So they're just below where the anchor chain will come round. Anchor chain will sort of come round here, round the capstans, down here and out. So these pieces go just here. The two little holes just there. So, same as before, dab of glue, and then you just roll it around each of the pegs, like that. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers for this bit. And then they just go straight into there. Just gently push it into place to seat it properly. A bit more of a push. By the look of the instructions, there should just be a little bit of it showing as well. Yeah. So we'll do the same on the other side. Now this time I'm just going to put the glue into the hole. Ooh, that's better. There we go. Yep. And then we take the part and we just press it in to position there. So that's those two pieces attached into place. And then next two pieces are the fair leads, which are these two bits here, not the two rounded pieces. They're the anchor guides that go just inside there. So we'll cut both of those away from the sprue, and then we will cut the sprue from the middle of the two pieces as well. The good thing with these side cutters that are flush cut is very little cleanups needed on them. Let's move those two bits out of the way. So here we have the part we've done up to now, and then these two pieces go in the two small holes. Now, because I've painted this swastika on, it's these two holes just here, and then these two holes just here. So all it says is apply a little super glue to the two pegs on the underside of the first roll of fair lead and fix in place near the platform as shown. So you can see those two holes on the picture, and then there's just these two holes here. So they're the two holes that the fair leads need to go into. So we'll get those attached in. Like I said in the last video, this the swastika took forever to paint on nicely, and it's still got a little bit of work needs doing. I mean, you can probably see a little bit of a ring round here. That's the white that was on it before. It won't take many more layers of paint to get that nice and red. So that one's in, that one's in, and now that one goes in there. So that's both of those plant on details planted on. And then next are the anchor brackets at the top of the anchor horses. Apply super glue to the pegs on the brackets and fix in place. So these two pieces need to go here. So the two holes just there and the two holes just there. So same as we've done before, nip them off the sprue. That's the end of that sprue. And then same the way around. Now, because of how tiny these are, I'm going to hold on to them with the tweezers this time. And then just roll the glue. Like that. And then gently press it into place. Whoops, it's stuck to my finger. The perils of super glue. And then that is on just there. Then the anchor chain will sit through there and into there. Make sure that's seated in properly as well. That's better. I'll just do the same thing with the other one as well. So it's just about being careful with the amount of glue you're using. I've built models before where I've gone overboard with the glue and straight away you notice it. Some models it's not really a problem if you go too much on the glue, because some of the parts are hidden. So you might put too much glue on and the part that you're actually gluing is hidden, and the glue will always be hidden. But then, like these, you don't want super glue or any form of glue hanging anywhere that you don't want it. So that's both of those pieces on. And then the last two pieces are these two bits here. And these are the attachment points, one for each side. And these have to go into, make sure I'm getting the right hole. So these have to go where we've got the 4 holes just here in this bottom corner. It has to go in the middle on the outside edge. So it's kind of there's one there, one there, one there, one there. It's that one in the very middle that it needs to go into. And then excuse me, I think one of the guys at work's giving me a cold. If they have, I'm going to kill them. Not really. So now these have got a shape to the peg. So if you look on there, I hope this is coming out. It won't now, will it? But it's like a half moon type shape, which fits perfectly into the hole. And then that's attached on, like that. And then we just do exactly the same thing with the other one. Bit of super glue. And then that'll go straight in there, all seated nicely. I always like to make sure they're kind of pretty much going 90 degrees to the deck. And that's all the plant-on bits on this issue done. So far then we have, move that out of the way. In this issue we've done this part of the hull. We've done loads of plant-on details on the deck, and then this will go and sit on the deck like that. So see it coming along a little bit now. Well, that's it for issue 8 then. It's starting to come along a little bit more now. Obviously we're getting some sort of details on the deck, just making it not look as flat and as 2D. We're starting to get some like definition, I suppose you can call it, to the piece. And like with some of the anchor chain points and things like that, it's all starting to come along quite well. Next week we get the internal parts for the gearbox. So we've got the cogs, the motors, things like that. I'll turn that away. And a couple of pins as well. So next week we'll be completing the gearbox. Well, that's it for issue 8 then. It's starting to come along a little bit more now. Obviously we're getting some sort of details on the deck, just making it not look as flat and as 2D. We're starting to get some like definition, I suppose you can call it, to the piece. And like with some of the anchor chain points and things like that, it's all starting to come along quite well. Next week we get the internal parts for the gearbox. So we've got the cogs, the motors, things like that. I'll turn that away. And a couple of pins as well. So next week we'll be completing the gearbox. So yeah, hopefully by next week we'll have a kind of a working part that I can show you, not just the gun firing, but also the gearbox pulling the anchors up. Next week's going to be quite similar to this one. I'm going to be recording it most likely on the Wednesday night because I've got my grandma coming up to Whitby to visit me and my wife for Easter. So I'll probably do the same thing again, record and upload the video on the Wednesday night, and then we'll go back to Thursdays from the week after. So I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, any comments, anything, feel free to get in touch. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on Wednesday next week.